This is Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review with your MLB Early Lines report for Tuesday, September the 6th. We're going to start off by looking at the Detroit Tigers taking on the Chicago White Sox. And we talked about this game prior to Monday's card. And once again, I think we've got some value to back the Detroit Tigers once again in this game on Tuesday between these two teams. We've got Matt Boyd, the lefty, on the mound for the Detroit Tigers against Miguel Gonzalez, the retread veteran who has found his way, stumbled his way if you ask me, back into this Chicago White Sox rotation just because they've got nobody else they can put in there at this point of the season. I think it should be an edge for the Detroit Tigers. I mean, Gonzalez, he's been okay at times, but really he's more often than not, he has been a very hittable pitcher. Look no further than when he faced the Tigers in his lone previous start against Detroit earlier this season. He gave up 7 runs on 8 hits in just 3.1 innings, a very bad outing for him against Detroit when he faced them earlier this season. You know, Detroit, on the other hand, Matt Boyd, the lefty, is not a dominant pitcher by any stretch of the imagination, and I'm not about to sell anyone on the belief or the theory that he's got upper echelon, top of the rotation pitching arsenal. I don't think he's got that, but he battles you. He gives you some innings. He keeps you in it. He's been able to work out of trouble in a lot of innings, and I think that's all that's necessary to be able to neutralize this Chicago White Sox lineup at this point in time. Detroit is 6-0 in Matt Boyd's last 6 starts, and they did beat the Chicago White Sox 4-3 in Matt Boyd's most recent start for the Detroit Tigers. So definitely I think the way Detroit's been playing, they're 8-3 in their last 11 games. As of this recording, they were tied with Baltimore for the second wildcard spot in the American League. These games are enormous for Detroit, and they've got to beat bottom feeders, and there is no doubt in my mind Chicago White Sox fit that bottom feeder bill to a T. These are games they've got to win, and I expect them to win this one. Detroit laying in the minus 115 to minus 120 price here in that range on the road is a favorite, and I think it's a cheap price. So I'm going to back Detroit once again over the Chicago White Sox on Tuesday. Some other games that stuck out, maybe we see some runs scored between Arizona and the Dodgers. Again, just initial look at the lines as of right now. Nothing really set in stone for me on this card as of yet other than that Detroit bet. But, you know, we might see runs here. I'm not sure Shelby Miller back on the beam, and I certainly don't trust Ross Stripling. To me, he's got fringe stuff, and you look at the way he's pitched as more batters face him, it's really been a struggle for him. So I think it's going to be a game where we do see some runs scored between the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers on Tuesday. I'll lean to that game going up and over the total of 8.5. I also favor Tampa Bay over Baltimore with Jake Odorizzi over Giovanni Gallardo. There's no doubt Odorizzi's the better pitcher of those two guys, but I'm not really rushing to lay minus 140. I think the odds makers did a good job there. You know, they priced it obviously not very cheap on Tampa as it should have been, but I think it's at the point where, you know, you're laying minus 140. I know they got the edge with Odorizzi from a starting pitching perspective, but you're still talking about a Tampa Bay team that's last in the division facing a Baltimore team that's got their everything to play for. They need wins like they need oxygen right now in this wild card battle, so it's priced appropriately. I like that. Tampa Bay wouldn't surprise me to see them win it or see Odorizzi outpitch Gallardo, but I think it's well reflected in this price. I don't see a lot of value with the Rays. Maybe a look toward the Rays in the first 5 innings too instead of the full game. That Rays bullpen a little bit dicey. I think the stronger edge with Tampa in that game, if you do go to bet them, might be the first 5 innings instead of the full game. And one more game that kind of interested me, St. Louis and Pittsburgh. Again, you see St. Louis or Pittsburgh here in this even money price range. I think it's a Pittsburgh team that is tapping out on their season. It's been a really rough go of it for them in recent games. They've really been struggling. Pittsburgh has lost each of their last 6 games on a 6-game losing streak as of this recording. Got swept by Milwaukee. Got swept by the Cubs. Not very good body language. They've fallen to 500. They know they're not going to make the playoffs now. And they've got a mediocre starter on the mound in Ryan Vogelsong. So you got a team in bad momentum, bad form, not hitting, and a mediocre starter in Ryan Vogelsong on the mound, who got hit hard his last start, 5 runs on 6 hits in 5 innings. They're a bet against team for me. I lean to St. Louis there. Luke Weaver will get the start for them. You know, he's not a guy that's highly touted, Luke Weaver, by any stretch, but he's been solid. He's given up 3 runs or less in all 4 of his major league starts with the Cardinals. 2-2 are the St. Louis Cardinals in those 4 starts, but, you know, he's been solid. And you like what you've seen from his strikeout to walk ratio. I mean, very impressive stuff. He's given up just 7 walks and had notched 26 strikeouts in his 4 starts so far. So I think he's going to be able to outpitch Vogelsong. I'd look towards St. Louis for sure in this game at an even money price. They're a team that's still got a little bit to play for, no question about that. Pittsburgh looks like they're fading and fading fast, so we'll lean to the Cardinals. That could be a game also where we see some runs scored. St. Louis's bullpen's been a little bit, more than a little bit erratic at times as of late, so we'll lean with the Cardinals. We'll lean also over the total in that game between the Cardinals and Pittsburgh. And I remember someone saying in a comment for my Monday video, Ian, would you announce your picks at the end of the video? These are early line reports. So to be honest with you, most of these times I do these videos, I haven't even locked a lot of my bets in yet, because a lot of my due diligence comes in the morning when things get a little bit more clear in terms of what's the bullpen situation like for these teams from the previous game. So these are just early leans. I will say right now, though, I will be on Detroit for sure. There's no doubt. That's why I led the video off with that game. I will be betting the Tigers, no doubt about it, as a short road favorite. The other ones are just leans right now. I haven't locked them in. Detroit's the only one I've locked a bet in right now on, but I'm leaning to the Cardinals in the over against Pittsburgh. Not going to touch Tampa, even though I lean that way because I think it's priced right. And I'm also, what was the other one? Oh, Arizona Dodgers over. I haven't bet it yet. Still might. But I do lean that way, and it would be the only way. I wouldn't bet it under, that's for sure. So that would be it. What my one official play as of right now, the one I've actually placed a wager on as of this moment, is Detroit. The rest of them are just leans. So again, that is what this video is all about. They're early lines reports, and keyword early. These are leans. It's just too early to lock things in. To lock a ton of bets in, that is what I mean, because we've got all these games on Monday that still have to be completed. What's the bullpen situation going to be like? What if there's an injury that happens in a lot of these games? So a lot of my bets don't get confirmed until the morning of the day of the games, but these are early leans, and we try to get you in a direction where not only do I give my early opinions, but hopefully at a price that will beat the market, where a lot of times these prices will move and you won't get as good a number if you wait till tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon or Tuesday morning or afternoon, the day of the game. So that is what we try to do with these daily MLB Early Lines Report videos here at Sportsbook Review. Not only try to give you winners, that's obviously the number one goal, but try to also beat the market with some of these price movements that you might see prior to first pitch. All right, that will wrap it up. That's my look at MLB Early Lines reports for the that's my look at MLB Early Lines for the games on Tuesday, September the 6th. I'm sports handicapper Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review, and as always, enjoy the games and good luck.
Do your research before you bet. Check out our ratings guide to see which books have the best ratings and sign-up bonuses. Open up several accounts and shop for lines at sbrodds.com. Always be ahead of the game.